evening, City Council, Mayor Burcroft, Madam Treasurer, Deputy Clerk in the audience. Today's date is Tuesday, November 13th, 2018. Roll call was taken during our special meeting, and we have a quorum, so the roll will show that all members of council are present. Tonight, Mr. Chair and Council, we have an amended agenda. Amended agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6A, clerk's report. 6B, treasurer's report. 7, public comment. 8, unfinished business. 9, new business. 10, communication. 11A is warrant 18-21. 11B is warrant 18-21E, and number 12 is adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the amended council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the amended council meeting agenda as presented. Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the amended agenda as presented. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Agenda approved.
Agenda item 2. 2A for approval are the minutes from the regular meeting held on November 5th, 2018.
Move for November the 5th, 2018.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, for approval of the minutes from our regular council meeting held November 5th, 2018. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
There were no special meetings held on November 5th, 2018. There are no petitioners on the agenda tonight. The agenda calls for number 4, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Again, thank you, veterans, for serving our country so that we may be free and living in America. Tonight we had a 7:15 meeting, a study session with our treasurer, Stacy Page, that gave us a city quarterly investment report. I want to read a resolution for a family of Terry and Minnie Edwards. It's whereas Terry and Minnie Edwards was married on October the 26th, 1968, marking their 50th wedding anniversary on October 26, 2018. Whereas Terry, as you know, no longer with us, but in spirit. Terry and Minnie met at Beverly Elementary School in Romulus. Terry's family moved to Chicago for a few years, returning to Romulus when he was in high school. They went through the prom and graduated together. Terry got drafted into U.S. Army, and when he returned home, he married the love of his life, Minnie. They had 2 sons together, Terry John Jr. and Alexander. The family lived in Inkster because Terry worked for the Inkster Fire Department, and residency was a qualification for the job. He retired from the fire department in 1998, and Minnie retired from General Motors in 1997, at which time they joined First Baptist Church in Romulus, where Terry became the Reverend. And whereas Reverend Edwards went to be with the Lord on September the 4th, 2018, even though Reverend and Minnie Edwards were not able to celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary together on earth, their love and devotion lived on in Minnie's heart. And therefore be it resolved, the honorable elected officials of the city of Romulus do hereby recognize the 50th wedding anniversary of Reverend and Minnie Edwards and thank them for their example, true love, and devotion in a marriage, and be it further resolved, this resolution shall be presented to Minnie Edwards to recognize the 50 loving years that she and her husband Terry spent together as man and wife. I would like to call Miss Minnie Edwards up to the podium. I'd like to present this resolution.
I'd just like to thank the city council for just thinking of us and just remembering us and honoring us. I'm so sorry that my husband wasn't able, he tried to be here. He died September, and he tried to make it to our anniversary, but the Lord had to take him away. But I just thank him. I just thank you so much for honoring us and remembering us. Thank you again. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I believe we have the newspaper here that would like to take some pictures with you all. Mr. Willett, if you want to take that picture. It's up to
Elected
Mr.
officials come up.
Sure. Let's go. Do you want- who wants this all?
Elected officials. That concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb. Accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved, and thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Clerk, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Didn't bring a quote. I wanted to talk a little bit about Veterans Day, which was Sunday. I wanted to give a shout out and thank you to Mark Lukowitz, who called me and got involved with the city, and Dennis Davidson, and Jan Lemon, and there were some others that came out. We did have a service. It was a little small, but we were at the War Memorial in the Historical Park Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. And it might have been small in numbers. It was, planned about a week ahead of time, but it was a nice ceremony. And the significance of it was that monument that was moved from the corner of Shook and Goddard to where it currently is. And this is the 100-year celebration of the World War I, or at the time the World War to End All Wars, as we know, did not. But Mark Lukowicz shared quite a bit of history from the Historical Society. It was a nice program. From there, we did go on to the VFW Hall, and they had their traditional 11/11 salute that they do for the veterans. So, you know, in Veterans Day, you know, the only thing I regret is I wish we could have had some youth there. You know, here it's the 100-year anniversary, and Veterans Day is a great opportunity to thank people who served, thank people who gave the ultimate, but to teach a lesson to the youth, the value, and give them a chance to thank vets, and also to let them know that we remember. You know, we don't forget the service that's there, but at least we did have a good program, so I wanted to thank all those who were involved with it, and it was very appropriate for the time, and thanks, however you contributed to it, thanks for being a part of it. And if you're a vet and you didn't hear, you know, thank you for your service, and we won't forget you, because that's what allows us to have our freedoms that we have today. I do have an informational video, with some things going on. If we could run that, please, Roger.
Here are some events coming up. Romulus Veterans Outreach Committee is still accepting donations for the clothing and supply drive now through November the 15th. Please see your screen for more details. Library will feature family story time every Wednesday from November 13th through December 4th. The program will start at 6:30 p.m. and encourages family togetherness. Wreaths Across America Day will return this year. Wreaths are now available for $15 at wreathsacrossamerica.org. Be sure to search for Romulus VFW. On Wednesday, November 21st, which is the day before Thanksgiving, the Romulus House will host its annual Thanksgiving dinner to benefit Goodfellows. Another event to benefit Goodfellows will be the .7K Turkey Trot, which will start downtown and end up at Walter's Bar. Cost of the event will be $20. A holiday or turkey attire is encouraged. Tickets may be purchased at City Hall. The annual tree lighting ceremony will be a bit early this year. We will move the event to Friday, November the 30th, to coincide with the Canadian Pacific holiday train. Vendors will open at 7 p.m., ceremony at 7:30. Santa will arrive approximately 7:45. There'll be photos with Santa until 9 p.m. To find out more about all of our community events, go to the locations noted on your screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Roger. Now into my normal action item report. I have before you item A. The first request is a recommendation that came through Lynn Conway, Purchasing Director, and Kathy Hood, Assistant DPW Director. It's a request to concur with the administration, award bid ITB 18/19-11. That's to the most responsive and responsible bidder, Wares Parts and Equipment Company, Inc., and that's for guaranteed fixed price for underbody scraper blades for the City of Romulus DPW. The amount is $26,845. Those funds have been verified and budgeted and come out of both the Major Street for winter maintenance routine account and the winter maintenance account for both of those, actually.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for ITB bid 18/19-11 for the underbody scraper blades in the amount of $26,845.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for ITB 18/19-11 underbody scraper blades. In discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. A motion approved.
Thank you, Council. The next item is a request, a recommendation from Lynn Conway, Purchasing Director, and Kathy Hood, Assistant DPW Director. This request is to concur with administration, award ITB bid 18/19-14 to Jam Best One Fleet Service. That's for a 2-year period ending November 12th, 2020. and that's for fixed pricing for tires for the DPW. Those funds have been verified and budgeted out of the motor vehicle operating supply account.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Webb.
I'd like to make that motion to concur with administration and award bid ITB 18/19-14 as stated by the mayor.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Talley, for ITB 18/19-14 for 2-year pricing for tires and tire service. Any discussion? Yes, Ms. Williams.
Yes, I would just like to say thank you to the DPW Assistant Director, Kathy Hood, for explaining to me the details of this document, and I do agree.
Thank you. Okay. Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next item for action is based on the Romulus City Charter, section 6.12, official newspaper. And this is a recommendation to concur with administration and award bid ITB 18/19-15, official publication newspaper and publication for the city notices to Associated Newspapers for the calendar year 2019 at the printing rates submitted in their bid document. And those funds are budgeted for and come out of general funds for hit several of them, clerk, elections, printing, and publication accounts.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that we accept bid ITB 18/19-15 for the 2019 official newspaper to the Associated Newspapers.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for the ITB 18/19-15 for the 2019 official newspaper publication. Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. And the last one is just an informational piece, and I wanted to let council know, based on our meeting last week, I did submit a memo to you, a couple memos outlining a detailed action. One in particular was regarding a 11425 Warman Street, and there was a memo from myself. There's also an attached memo from Captain Monte from PD, and there's also a detailed report that was written by Jim Tam, special counsel, and was provided to the request of Ms. Price back in April. And so I won't read it all. The summary of my memo basically says that the city had no involvement in any of the eviction and/or jurisdiction or authority over that court. It basically talked about the dated letter of April 13th that Mr. Tam sent to Ms. Price, and I'll quote what was in that letter. "The city does not have the ability to overturn any decision reached in a judicial system," and it did talk about where they could pursue action through the court system. And further, the last part of it, as it pertains to a vehicle that was done, it was an inoperable vehicle that was on the premises. It was done at the direction of the 34th District Court, and there's an email from Captain Monty. So that, I didn't want to get into all the details in our open meeting. There's also another memo and a follow-up item that you asked me to report back on. Thank you.
Yes. Mayor, I was looking at the email from Monty, and there's a statement in here that he made that I went to the tow company, John Bocon at Kroger's Towing, and was taking videos. I never went there. So that is totally incorrect. So
I'll pass it on to him.
yeah, that need to be corrected because I never went to the towing company by myself or with Ms. Price.
I don't think he's here tonight, but I'll pass it on to
Okay.
him.
Thank you.
That concludes my report.
Oh, thank you.
6A is the clerk's report. I have one item under, on the agenda. This is the Property Disposition Committee, unsold tax foreclosed properties for the year 2018. The Property Disposition Committee respectfully requests that City Council concur on the following recommendation. that the city of Romulus does not wish to acquire any of the properties included on the Wayne County Treasurer's unsold tax foreclosed properties for year 2018, dated November 2nd, 2018, due to the fact that none of these properties adjacent to the existing existing city-owned properties. And then there's a attachment there of those properties. Just need council to take action to
Need a motion?
concur
We
with
need
the
a-
recommendation of the Property Disposition Committee.
Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'll
Yes.
make that motion that we concur with the actions of the Property Disposition Committee, which respectfully declines acquiring this property. Am I correct?
Yes. Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Webb, for the Property Disposition Committee, unsold tax foreclosure properties for year 2018. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Webb,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth, Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Tally,
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And Mr. Chair, before I close out my report, if I can, I just want to comment on the election this last week. And, as you know, record turnout. And we had we had 49.9% voter turnout. And it was 9,611 voters who turned out. That included absentee ballots. That's a slight, just a 4% difference between the last presidential election, which it was 54%. So we had like 10,000 voters turn out. So I think we've got a glimpse of what to anticipate in 2020. It's going to be a big election. So first, I just want to thank all the voters who came out. Their patience. In some precincts, there were longer waiting time, and that's partly because the voters came out in those precincts, and we had some precincts that the lines they were just continuous. But we want to thank everybody and thank the voters for their patience. Also, with elections, there's a lot of pre-election preparation. There's a lot of work done on election day, and then there's a lot of post-election work. And so there's a few people, if I can, Mr. Chair, that I would just like to publicly thank, because this was a collaborative effort from everyone, and it would just be remiss of me if I didn't acknowledge them to say thank you for just their help and for volunteering and helping us out on election day. First, I'd like to just thank the clerk's office team, Barb Fitzgerald, Ann Lammers, Bambi Stanley, and as some of you may or may not know, but we have a new member, a new elections clerk, and that's Dawn Taylor. So she walked right in and had boom, hit with an election, but she did an amazing job, and we want to thank that Roberto Scapatici for allowing Bobby Marcel, which is the former elections clerk, to come over and train Dawn and work with us, and even on election day, Bobby was there to help us all the way through. So thank you, Bobby, and thank you to Roberto. Also, the DPW team, Justin Leskaska, Tracy Eddings. The election equipment has to be moved and picked up and delivered to those precincts. So we want to thank them for their support, being there, helping us, deliver that equipment and bringing it back. To the IT department, Steve Dudek, Jennifer Madison, and Dave Drury. Elections now, it's become very high tech, and there's a lot of technology involved with our elections now. So we need our IT department, and so we really couldn't have gotten through a lot of the different details without them. And so they were a big part of this election and helping us with some of those technical things. So thank you to Steve Dudek, Jennifer Madison, and David Drury. I want to thank our city treasurer, Stacy Page, for her support and in allowing Ron Witten. Ron Witten used to be in the clerk's office. He's now in the treasurer's department, but he helped us out on election day. He was a huge, huge help. It was great having Ron there on election day. To the cable department, Mike Laskaska for helping us put on our PA, for public announcement, and to Roger Cadu, just helping us out, getting things on websites, just helping us with equipment. To our police and fire department, J.D. Settles and Captain Josh Monty, and also to our deputy chief, Kevin Kraus. And some of you may or may not know, one of our precincts lost power. And, to Deputy Chief Kevin Kraus, he was right on top of it, made sure that DTE was there, and just making sure that precinct was up and running. And then to our Mayor Burcroft and to our Chief of Staff, Julie Watoko. I did an SOS call one night saying, Julie, we need some help and we need more hands to help us get these precincts set up. And didn't take long. She got on the phone, and then here comes, the cavalry came out to help us. We had Bob McCrate, Julie Albert, Mary Jurier, Carol Mays, Dave Allison, Dennis Davison. They were right there to help us get those precincts set up. And then on election night, we had Jasmine Dancy, Don Malloy, Chris Dunn. They were helping us out with answering phones in the clerk's office. And then to a special lady who is concerned with our health, and she started something that we're going to expect at every election, and Jan Lemon. And she brought us some fresh veggies. She's done that the last couple of elections, and that's probably the only healthy thing that we actually ate on election day. But thank you, Jan, for those fresh vegetables. To Romulus Community Schools, we worked really close with our superintendent, Margie McAnally, and their team in helping us on election day. Last but not least, to the people who make up the most important component on election day, and that's our election workers. Our precinct chair and co-chair, our AV counting board, our receiving board. They really receive a small amount of training and it focuses, on very specific tasks, and that's just to ensure that the vote is secure and is cast exactly as voters intended it to be. And it doesn't matter what the political persuasion is, but they're there and they're committed to working. They work long hours, a minimum of 15 hours on that day. If you're a precinct, if they've served as a precinct chair and co-chair, their hours are going to be extended after the polls are closed. So we want to tell them thank you. And if you know somebody that served as an election worker, be sure to thank them for their service and for, just the service they provide to their fellow citizens. I just can't thank enough. And to you, City Council, just for your support, and to everyone, thank you so much. We made it through this election, and we have a whole year, and so we're already meeting in preparation for the 2020 election so that we can ensure that our election in 2020 is a success. So again, thank you to everyone.
Thank you.
And with that, that concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you.
6AB is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, deputy clerk, and audience. As Mayor Pro Tem said, I did report the quarterly report ending September 30th, 2018. And I just want to say that everything was within Public Act 20 as well as our investment policy. We did meet or beat the benchmark, which is with Bank of America Merrill Lynch. So getting things done and moving in the right direction. Also, I want to remind everyone that taxes will be going out. December 1st, you will receive your tax bill. And so we're making final preparation to get those out. And of course, if you do not receive your bill on or before December 1st, please give us a call at the treasurer's office. We'd be happy to answer any questions or get you a copy out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The next agenda item is public comment. And for individuals that would like to address City Council, you must raise your hand. When recognized by the chair, approach the podium and state your name and address. Remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes, and that's subject to being extended an additional 3 minutes, and that's by consent of the chair. There shall be no personal attacks, and remarks shall not contain any profanity, racial, ethnic, sexual, or national origin slurs or overtones. This public meeting shall not be used to campaign for elected office and may not be used to support or oppose any candidate or ballot proposals. Anyone not adhering to these rules shall lose their right to address City Council. A response to any of your questions and/or concerns will be provided under agenda item number 8, unfinished business. And that's only if the information is available. Otherwise, responses that require further investigation will be given at a later date. Mr. Chair and Council, we do have 3 written requests under public comment this evening.
First, before we start, when you approach the podium, you know you may be speaking more than 3 minutes. It'd be appreciative if you said, Chairman, I'd like to have a few minutes more than 3. Be appreciated. Also, the personal attacks on officials, we won't be able to tolerate that for personal attacks. So we just want to keep it, in the council chambers with respect to the audience. Because I had some complaints from the last election from people that was watching the council meeting that we should not allow too many personal attacks or overextended period of times of talking. So I appreciate if anybody can really adhere to that. It'd be really appreciated. Thank you.
Our first written request is from Ms. Jan Lemon.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, those in the audience. In a few months, I will be a 78-year-old Romulus resident. I love this city. I don't care what happens good. I don't care what happens bad. I'm just here because I want to support my city. I'm sorry I missed last week's meeting. I was out trying to help the veterans. I try to help them on Monday nights. I also believe in the right of free speech. I do not intend to offend anyone. However, I do not intend to sit back and not defend my council, my mayor, and my city. I always refer to it as mine because my mother taught me if you own something, you take better care of it. And I know there's many of you people have heard me say that before, but that's my belief. Mrs. Price has my sincere sympathy and understanding for the situation she finds herself in. That being said, we must take one step at a time. I don't know why she came to council. I don't know why this poor lady had to be humiliated. The city can never solve anybody's legal problems. Mrs. Bragg, just as she read again tonight, she reads at every council meeting. 3 minutes, no personal attacks, no political agenda. Personal attacks, to me, are getting to be too many. I have sat here. The mayor has been challenged on his transparency. Mrs. Webb was attacked by a resident on something she said at a private home. This has now become public. Julie has never failed to follow through with anything that I know she has been asked of or that I have asked of her. When addressing the council and returning to your chair, it is not the time to continue to have conversations with your friends. Just sitting in the chambers and shouting out from your chair is also out of order. These are all things that are now taking place in our council. You can come and make all the statements, you say are true. But when you are offered an explanation, you get up and leave. This is just rude. The truth always prevails. I have had questions for the city, the present mayor, and many mayors before him. I always found out a one-on-one appointment accomplishes far more and is also more satisfying. I do not dwell on the negative. Being negative is like a cancer. It eats at your whole soul, destroying your common sense. Positive thinkers live happy lives and are more content in life. In the long run, it works for the better of all concerned. Romulus is a wonderful city. Thinking positive will build a better city for everyone. Thank you.
Our next written request, Mr. Chair, is Crystal Price.
Okay.
Council. The letter that you just read, can I please get a copy of it? Because I don't know what you read and where it came from, but I would like to have a copy of it if you don't mind,
Sure, you can.
please. And another, I want to clear some things up here. I'm not here asking anybody to fight any legal battles for me. I am here because I am a citizen and a resident of Romulus. I am here because me and my children have been violated. That's why I'm coming to you, okay? Now, first thing I want to clear up right now is in this letter, I believe you stated that my vehicle was not operable. Is that correct? Oh,
Yeah, you'll get a
could you
copy of
please,
this.
yeah, could you please tell me, did it say that my vehicle was not operable?
I'm gonna give you a copy of this letter.
Yes, that's what it said.
Is that what it said? Thank you, Mrs. Williams. Here's my keys right here, okay? So for my vehicle to be not operable, they would need these keys to do that. Am I correct?
That's true.
I'd like to know, has council, when I was sitting in the hallway waiting to come in today, I was approached by Mrs. Webb. And what she told me, that there is nothing that council can do about my situation, she asked me about my car, and I asked me if I've gotten it back yet, and I told her no. She said, there's nothing council can do. The council doesn't have anything to do with this. I'm just going by my attack when I was sitting in the hallway. I have not come here to disrespect city council. I hear out in the streets people telling me that Mrs. Webb is telling people that I was 7 years in arrears, or 7 years of payment of no mortgage. I didn't pay my mortgage for 7 years, which is again untrue. Okay? Yes, it is no, it's not a personal attack, ma'am. I need to defend myself. I am here
Can we have a
because-
little order, please?
Yes.
What I want you to do, I know it's personal and it's something that deal with the courts and
Okay, I understand that, Chairperson. What I want to know is what has City Council looked into regarding my vehicle? Because I have a document right here. 20 minutes after they broke into my house, my vehicle was up on a flatbed. Romulus police officers assist, and I want to know what is going to be done about this. My vehicle was taken illegal. It was an illegal seizure, and I want some answers. My vehicle is still impound. They took my vehicle on October the 23rd. My birthday was October the 27th. Now my tags are expired. My vehicle is fully insured, properly plated, tags on it. It's a $100,000 car that I have no access to. When I called there to ask about it, I'm not given any information. I have a tape here that says Romulus Police very well they're saying Kova is saying in the tape that Romulus Police was the one that had my vehicle towed. Now, if that, I would like to be able to have a meeting. I want something
Okay.
done. I'm asking for extra time to talk,
Okay,
please.
okay.
I need to know, what do I do here? This is not about a foreclosure. This is about me and my children being thrown out of our house with no notice, all of our belongings put on the front porch or on the front lawn, an illegal seizure. That's what this is about. And all I'm coming here for is to ask for help regarding my vehicle that I have still not been able to retrieve it.
All right, Ms. Price, we will address this on unfinished business, and anything that does with the courts would have to be taken up with the courts.
Absolutely, but this has got nothing to do with the courts, because the Romulus Police Department,
Okay, we will,
yeah, it's got nothing to do with the courts. I want to know, what I want is an investigation or looked into as far as my vehicle being taken. When I talked to Officer Monty or Captain Monty, when I went up there, he told me that they told me that there was no report, no nothing. They said he just called, whatever. Now I come here today and some report has been drawn up. It's already been rebutted with Mrs. Williams saying she wasn't at Kova's recording or whatever, and now me with my keys in my hand. So there's a problem here, and this problem needs to be addressed because somebody's lying, and it certainly is not me.
okay. We will have someone to talk with you to try to clear this up, Ms. Price. Thank you.
The last written request, Mr. Chair, is coming from Crystal Linton.
Evening, Council.
Good evening.
I just have a couple comments, and I don't think I need extra time. The millage passed, and I wasn't for it, but it did, and so the citizens of Romulus has said we will pay more money, and so let's move forward. I just have two questions, and you can get back with me. But now that we've passed it, where do we go from here? There's a police fire station that is to be opened. Is there a projected date for that, particularly on the north end? So if you could let me know what a projected date is for that, because we want to see that this money is being spent for what we said we would give it for, right? And also, when are they're going to start any cutbacks in terms of jobs? And we were promised that it wouldn't be police or fire, but when is that projected to happen? And as far as Ms. Price is concerned, of course you can see Ms. Price is she's distraught. And whether you understand or believe it or not, there has been a huge miscarriage of justice, not beyond anything you can take on or understand. But it feels like we're in a dark room, and we know there's an enemy attacking us, but they have night vision goggles, and we have nothing. And so we can't see, but we know we're under attack. And that's what it feels like. If I can get you to understand, she's kind of being run around, why this woman's car was running. I'm a witness. I was there. She has the keys. It was properly plated. So, and we go to the courts. We didn't order it. We go to the police. Well, we didn't tell anybody to take your car. But, and she's gone back and forth, and I've gone with her a couple times. And so it seems like it's just this runaround until she will finally just go away. But here's the thing. When she gets tired, then somebody else is going to step in and ask the questions. And it's not just of you. It will be of higher authorities, higher criminal authorities or higher court authorities or whoever we have to take it to. And we know that city council cannot necessarily regulate the courts. However, you can inquire about things. But you do have some influence when it comes to the police. I believe that's correct. And so what we're doing here is asking you to get to the bottom of this situation. There was no court order when we went and asked, but now there's a document that's come up. And I appreciate you, Mayor, for looking into it and trying to get some kind of answer. However, obviously that answer isn't correct because she has her keys in her purse right now. And it's proper plates on the car. How do you know it's not running? So we already know that that's not a proper answer. So we're just asking, as citizens, for help in this fight in the dark that we're in. And we'd like you to go back again now and say, this can't be right. Can you tell me something else? Okay? I think that's it for me.
Okay, thank you.
That was the last written request.
Okay, Ms. Miller. Yes, Miller.
Former Councilman Charles Miller. Thank you, Ms. Litton, for those timely words. There is power in language. That's why presidents have speechwriters and some should hire speechwriters. Many times words mean two different meanings. That's the power of language. Most people approach things viscerally, how they feel about it, how it affects them, how we feel about certain issues, how that issue affects our lives. Language can be used many ways. It can be used to make us happy. Certainly it can teach us, but also language can be used to frighten us. That's the way this campaign was conducted. The taxes were raised, the people had their voice, they spoke, and I'm okay with that. Everyone should have their time in the ballot box. Some of us win, some of us lose. But in the end, when language is used in a form to misinform us, we all lose. Even though there is no evidence of a problem within the fire department, the firemen came up here and told of what they considered issues, and possibly those issues are correct. I don't deny that. There's only one fire station open. You can't deny that. So when we look at community help, we can't depend on other communities to help the city of Romulus, and we can't certainly think that every time a fire happens in Romulus, then another city can respond. We have one fire station. Now, there was a great deal of talk about there's only 6 minutes to come from the fire station to take care of a fire in the city of Romulus. The north end, by all means, is absolutely hardly even able to count on the fire department, if that's the case. Because they continued to say that there were issues, But when we look at the evidence of those issues, they're not there. The issues are not there, that they've never been able to complete their mission, yet that was the word on the street and at every meeting and at every post-election. So let's take a look at the language, because language has power. It says utilize grant funding to open a second fire station. Now one has to ask oneself, why wasn't it utilized for the 5 years of this administration? Nor, if it was either unavailable to us or it was overlooked. I may want just a little more time, sir.
Okay.
I appreciate your patience. Everyone knows, and I investigated it, I went the extra mile, that the money can be used in what's called fire and police safety. This money can be utilized to uproot the police department on Olive Street, rehab and move them into the soon-to-be empty police or courthouse when the new courthouse is completed, right now to the tune of $17 million and rising. And it can be used to pay underfunded MERS. It falls under that category if I'm not mistaken. So I would implore this administration to open a second firehouse if all that we've been told says that we are in danger. You as a council have an obligation. That obligation requires you to be the watchdogs of the health and safety of this city. And I would implore this mayor, post haste, as soon as possible, including using all necessary funding and an increase of 4 mills in this city to open another firehouse. Thank you, sir. Thank you, council. Appreciate your patience with me, and please have a great evening.
Any, Reverend Talley?
Mr. Mayor, Council, I just got to inform you of something that I don't know if you know about. This is National Day of Kindness. Y'all know, but we don't know about that? It is National Day of Kindness. And in February, we will have random acts of kindness. And the reason I made the statement is because our children, I started presenting it to our children at Romulus Middle School and to the principal and Principal Parker and Principal Sahaney, and they jumped right on it. Come and look at some of the things we are putting on the wall, because the children, we're allowing them to work with it. We're trying to plant seeds that will kind of turn their thinking, because like I explained to them, I said, we got a lot of anger, we got a lot of people just upset and angry and just don't care how they talk to each other and even hurt each other and all that. Oh, they were for it. And I said, so can we have in our school, we start with our school and have a little peace in here while they crazy out there. Amen. And it's true. Our children is watching, and a lot of them are expressing their anger as well. because we're their first teachers, and they watch us, and we got to be very careful what we do, because then they say, oh, is that how you do it? No, it isn't. I'm telling you how to do it, but they have been, I am just so proud of them. And they've been making little hearts and things, and what it's to do is they're going to say kind things, to write something on there kind to either each other, the teacher, the principals, because there's a lot going on. A lot going on with the schools, a lot going on with the teachers, and I mean, it's just not like it used to be. And I said, but we can make a difference. They're on board. So just keep on giving us the strength to go on with it, because you always, like he said, get negativity. When you try to do something good, everybody going to try to throw a negative. I don't want to hear that. We are going to be positive, and these children are really working it. They're getting a kick out of making these hearts. And as they make them, what's happening, they're reading them, studying them, and they're getting it in here. And I can see the change in a whole lot of them. So we can practice a lot of that too as adults, because a lot of people is upset. And I express to the children, practice. We're going to practice this. I say, I got to practice it. And how I respond to different situations so we don't create an atmosphere that is so solemn and whatever. So and if you want to help, y'all want to make some hearts and donate them over there, we'll be glad to have them. And we're just going to try to turn some things around, because change comes when we change. And we decide we're going to do it, okay? Hey, man, was I short or long or what?
You're okay.
I know y'all's watching. Okay.
Any other comments from the audience? No more comments from the audience. Madam Clerk, we close the part out.
Yes, sir. Number 8 is unfinished business.
Mr. Barton?
Yes,
if I
Mr.
could
Wadsworth.
just do a quick thing. Next week is going to be Thanksgiving, and of course, if you haven't given a turkey to its helping hands, they would appreciate it. I gave. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth.
Mr. Chairman, go ahead. So,
Go ahead.
under unfinished, couple things that I can respond to that came up earlier. I guess what I would suggest to council is read through the memos. It's up to your discretion. I had our PD and attorney investigate this based on your request. What information you want provided is up to you. You know, we're here to help people, Mr. Chairman, and we have, and what you received is actually a copy of a letter of an attorney. We paid a special attorney back in April to try to address and help this individual, this resident. And so, you know, if you feel there's something else the city should have done or that we could have done for any resident, I would love to know that. The issue that came up about the vehicle, and I think it's very distasteful. It's like the city's being accused of lying on something in the vehicle. We had nothing to do with the vehicle. Read the memo on that. It was the court that ordered that. Inoperable vehicle, and what I think I heard her say is that the plate was expired. That actually meets the definition from an inoperable vehicle. So those are questions we can facilitate. Probably the best solve, and I heard about you know, a meeting. Why don't we set up a meeting with the court in this individual and our attorney, and and if there's something the city should have done different, I'll take your direction. But look through it. If there's something else that you want from that, I just wanted to let you know, we're willing to try to facilitate a meeting with whomever, but I don't think taking an adversarial, accusing somebody of lying, this stuff came from PD. I didn't make this up. I requested them to look at it. So if you think there's something further you want us to go the extra mile for anybody or any resident, we'll be happy to do it. A couple questions that came up. There was a ask about a timeline, a projected timeline for the other fire station. We're in an all-day meeting in this room today. Once I get that, I'll be passing it on. The questions I said through the process about the funds, that's all going to come to you. Remember, this millage that was on the ballot, that's not getting levied till next summer tax. So we're trying to work on the budget for next year already. So you're going to be a part of that. We're going to share that with you. It is transparent. It is audited. There's no games being played. Love to have you and or the residents hold us accountable to every penny. That's what we're here for, and that's what we expect. But we'll keep you posted on that whole process. As far as anything else, I guess let me know. Didn't know it was National Day of Kindness, Reverend Talley. That was good that you threw that in. That was just so ironic. But anything else you want from me on unfinished, I'll do the best I can. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
I have, through the chair, if you may, I have two items. One is something that I would like to express, but I'm going to go with this one first. If I can get support, I'd like to make a motion for a resolution in memory of Carl Eric Butler.
Support.
And I would like to read the resolution. Whereas the city of Romulus lost a valued resident with the passing of Carl Eric Butler. And whereas Eric Butler was born on April 20th, 1957 in Romulus, Michigan, the second of 4 sons born to Nathaniel and Marjorie Butler. And whereas Eric was baptized at an early age and he loved attending church. Therefore, be it resolved, Eric made his transition to be with the Lord on November 2nd, 2018. The honorable elected officials of the city of Romulus expressed to the family of Eric Butler their heartfelt sympathy and deep realization of the loss they have sustained. And be it further resolved, a copy of this resolution shall be presented to the family of Eric Butler, and it's signed by the mayor and all of the city officials. And my second comment is, I've sat here as part of the legislative body, and this is the second week I am being attacked. I have been accused. Now, all I have to say is, this will be the last time I will address this. The vehicle is the police, the tow services. It is not the council. We're looking into it. We have the memo. It was all taken care of with Mr. Coney and another tow service. That they should have taken care of that from the memo that I received. Now, apparently I am doing a very good job sitting up here because I am being accused. I guess if I was not doing a good job, no one would think that I was here. Now, the next time any resident, any visitor, or anyone accuses me of stating anything that's not correct, I want you to bring the accuser with you. Then I would tell he or she to their face what I said and what I did not say. And as I said, this is the end of this conversation. Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor.
I supported it.
And it was a motion by Mrs. Webb and supported by, was it Roscoe or? I heard Roscoe.
Roscoe.
That's fine.
For memorial resolution. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved.
Is there any more unfinished business?
Yes.
Oh, Ms. Williams?
Yes, and I would just like to make sure that if the mayor think that I need to speak with Captain Monty, because this statement that you passed to each of us is totally incorrect. As I said earlier, that I never put foot on J.T. Crover's property and taken pictures, and that's totally not a true statement. I spoke with Captain Monty, and he said that he went to the court on Tuesday morning, and he spoke with an individual, he wouldn't say who it was, and he said that they did order the car to be towed. But at the same time, what I suggested to him is that the police department, to get the city out of it, to say the city had nothing to do with it, it would have been much more believable for him to have something in writing saying the court ordered it, and then that way the police department no longer has ties with it. But to go back and forth and say, well, he can't say who said it, and then all of a sudden tonight receive this document, I have a problem with that.
I'll take that up with Captain Monte. This is what he gave me.
Okay.
I didn't speak to him about it. If you had a conversation,
Yes.
I will convey what was said by you tonight, but that's what he provided to me, and he's the captain of our PD. That's why I provided it. So I can't speak to it. I had no conversation with him about that part of the letter.
Okay, and just to make it clear, when Ms. Price spoke, she didn't say that the tax was expired when they impounded the car. She said they expired on her birthday, which was that following, I'm sure, 3 or 4 days. So I just wanted to clear that up because that's what I heard.
Yeah, what it said is inoperable. So
Yeah.
that's what the memo said. I'm trying to justify what's inoperable. Keys, holding up keys don't mean something's operable or not. To me, they have a definition of what inoperable was, and that's what was stated in that memo. Very clearly for me, the term they used, inoperable. Thank you.
Thank you.
John?
Mr. Abdo?
Yes, Mayor, can we get a physical copy of the court order that, yeah, if
We can
we could
request
get
it.
a.
I don't know what they'll give us or not. We
All
can
right.
request it.
I think that might solve a few
Yes.
problems, if we could get a physical copy of the court order for the car. Thanks.
Mr. Wadsworth?
That too, Mayor, because in my almost 14 years that I worked in this town, I had to deal with none of them were very pleasant. But the court order usually begins, states in bold letters that the court officers are to remove all and any property from the premise. So, but, and I don't know, Mrs. Price should have been given a copy of the court order. I mean, it's public record.
I'm sure if she dealt with the court, I'm sure her issue would have been through the court. I'm provided what we got from our police department, so.
They don't pick and choose what they take. The court order says remove all and any property from.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, our police department was only there to support the court order that was there. So that's what we were asked to do, and that's what that letter says that they did.
Okay.
If there's no more unfinished business, number 9 is new business.
Mayor?
Yes, Ms. Abdo?
Mayor, I'm sorry. Yes, as many of you know, our National Honor Society work throughout the city at events, volunteering their time, putting in their 40 hours of community service. Once a year, the National Honor Society does a fundraiser. This is not money for the National Honor Society. It is money that goes to the charity that they choose. Again, they have chosen the Pediatric Cancer Research and the Chad Tuff Foundation. And on Sunday, December 9th, they are hosting a bowling fundraiser. Now, many people say, well, I don't bowl, and what I'm saying in back, would you like to sponsor a student then to bowl? You know, for $20 sponsorship, that all this money will go to the Chad Tuff Foundation for Cancer Research. And I just wanted to note, a few years ago, this kind of hit home personally because our president of National Honor Society announced that she had cancer. Luckily today, she's cancer-free 2 years later, but you know, it can hit anywhere, anytime. And so please contact me. I want to thank the mayor who's already jumped on board and is buying pizza for the kids, which is a big deal for them, trust me, Mayor. And Ms. Roscoe, thanks for the basket already. And anybody else who would like to help out, please see me. Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate my grandson. They had a Super Bowl, a football game this past weekend, and they beat a team that had beat them in the regular season. And my grandson's nickname is the Tank, and every kid is scared of him because he's a big kid and he really take it seriously. Also, I'm in negotiations with the Lions to try to get him on the Lions. But anyway, yeah, I tell you. And I just want to say congratulations, grandson, and keep up the good grades and be a role model for other kids. And congratulations to the whole football team and their parents who put a lot of work in there throughout the year of raising money, educating these kids, our future leaders. Thank you, grandson.
If there's no more new business, then number 10, communication.
Mr. Chair.
Yes. Ms. Talley?
Just a couple of things. I just want to kind of piggyback off my mom, Reverend Talley, about the kindness. And I was going to say something, you know, we could take lessons on every day of just being more kinder. And I just want to thank Sister Minnie Edwards for coming out this evening. Thank you so much, and bringing your sister out. You didn't have to. I could have brought you that. But you came out. Thank you. And just for the people, just being kind. You can go a long way just being kind. And I thought it was kind on Saturday how the Community Methodist Church honored Pastor Crin and did a fundraiser pancake breakfast to help. Just kindness. Kindness just goes a long way, you know. And I just want to just put that out there for that. We're entering into a wonderful time of the year. Sometimes it can be good because one thing that's been happening in First Baptist, they've had a lot of death in their church, a lot of death in the last several months. We don't know how long we're going to be here. It pays to be kind. It pays to be kind. 4 deaths in the last several months. It's just something to think about. And then just as we're entering into this season, peace on earth, goodwill towards men. I love this type of year, this time of the year. It's peace on earth, goodwill towards men. And I feel it when we're entering into this time of the year. And then I feel it when it goes away at January 1st too. But during this season, I just enjoy it. And I know it's a lot going on with people dealing with grief. And I pray because you have to take I take my comfort in the Lord. But I just want to say, just shout out, it's nothing we can say about being kind. We can't say enough about it. And Mom, thank you for bringing that up. Pastor Crin and the Community Methodist Church for their kindness this past week. And Pastor Crin looked awesome. He looked great. The Maize and Blue was rocking on Saturday. Thank you, Ms. Lemon, for all your words. And let's just be nice to somebody this week. Just start with this week. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Williams?
Yes, and I would just like to say, on the behalf of all of us being children of God, it shouldn't be one day that we be kind. It should be every day, and it should be to everyone. We shouldn't pick a certain day or a day that man picked, and nothing against any of the men in here, but we should be kind every day. Because regardless of who we think we are or where we came from, we are all God's children. Thank you.
11A for approval is warrant 18-21, and also 11B for approval is warrant 18-21E.
I'm sorry, Ellen, I had another communication. Can we go back to that?
Sure, it's up to Mr. Chair. Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind people about the Veterans Drive that we are doing. We're talking about acts of kindness. This would go right in. People ask, where are the locations? We have a box here at City Hall. We have one at Public Works and over at the rack too, or the fire station. Any clothes you want to donate, it really goes a long way.
Ms. Abdo, what's the cutoff date on that? How long can we?
November 15th, which is right around the corner.
Yeah.
Thursday.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for reminding me. I can get my stuff in. All right, now we'll go.
Sure, I didn't know. I read both of them in that way if you want to ask for approval.
Do you want me to go do both warrants at once?
It's totally up to you and Mr.
No, what I
Chair.
want you to do is like we've been doing it.
Oh, I'll do it.
Do the
right,
first
each
one, then
separate.
do the
Okay.
second one.
All right. Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we pay warrant 18-21 in the following amounts.
Okay.
General Fund, $121,496.66. Major Street Fund, $1,554.89. Local Street Fund, $3,666.65. Cable TV, $89.66. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $6,788.91. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $1,321.24. Brownfield Redevelopment Authority Fund, $192.50. CDBG, 50 cents. 9/11 Service Fund, $4,389.05. Law enforcement, $919.20. Narc forfeiture from the state, $2,734.31. Library fund, $14,358.50. DDA, $9,068.23. Tifa District 2, $2,054.81. Court Building Construction Fund, $588,422.57. Vining Road Extension, E-Course Construction, $21,461.25. Water and Sewer Fund, $470,656.32. Motor Vehicle, $82,638.21. Technology Services, $5,474.01. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $208,549.29. Revolving Fund, $6,871. General Tax Fund, $6,187.50. Payroll Fund, $288,370.61. Total of all funds, $1,847,265.87.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 18-21 for $1,847,265.87. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, warrant number 18-21 will be paid.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we pay warrant 18-21E. This is payment for all the election workers. And rather than read all hundreds of the names off, I'll just give you the total, $15,105.
Support.
Okay. It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Webb, to pay warrant number 18-21-E for $15,105. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, warrant number 18-21-E will be paid.
Number 12 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.